Hello, and welcome to Let's Talk Spoop. I'm your host, Don, and today we're going to talk about a movie on Netflix called The Privilege. Backstory for this movie, I brag, I don't know that I would say brag, but I talk a lot at work about the fact that I make videos for YouTube, mostly because I'm just shilling for more likes. But I talk about it a lot at work, and I was talking with one of the guys that I work with about the fact that I do horror movie reviews, and he got really interested in the idea, which was cool. I liked the support, and so he sent me a recommendation, and thus I'm doing the movie he recommended. I do take recommendations, so if there is a movie that you would like me to review, by all means, comment. Or there's some messaging service that I don't understand how it works. Jeremiah tells me about it. Also, you can just send us a thing in that messaging service, and I will, at some point, get around to reviewing it. Whoever requested Psycho Gorman, I'm still tracking that one. I promise. It's going to happen. It is going to happen. I just don't know when. But eventually, I'll get to it. For those of you who don't know, I'm not a huge fan of comedy horror, and Psycho Gorman is apparently a horror comedy, so that's why I haven't reviewed it yet. But I'll get to it, I promise. And I will be as objective as possible to whoever that fan is that requested that video. Anyway, we're going to talk about The Privilege on Netflix. As per usual on Let's Talk Spoop, we break things down into 6 separate categories. Those 6 separate categories are story, acting, music, atmosphere, look, and finally creep. So, without further ado, and probably more rambling, let's go ahead and jump into The Privilege on Netflix. So, as you guys can see, I got the trailer playing here. The movie opens up the way this trailer opens up, which is a kid playing video games at his house, right here. So he's playing some video games. His parents leave to go do a thing. He's supposed to be being watched by his sister. The power goes out. He starts to experience some weird things. His sister freaks out, essentially. Convinces him to jump in the car with her. Drives off to a bridge. So his sister takes him to a bridge. They jump off. She tries to get him to jump off of the bridge. He does not jump off the bridge. His sister dies. That's the opening. Pretty brutal. So then we get fast forward to modern times, essentially. And Finn, that's the kid's name, is like getting analyzed by a doctor. And the doctor tells him that he's down 15% in efficiency, whatever that means. His parents aren't going to be happy, and he asks her not to tell his parents, which is kind of a weird thing to tell a child. He and his twin sister, which is a different sister than the one that died at the opening, receive some new medication. We go to the school, we get introduced to a bunch of new characters, sister's boyfriend, the main character's love interest, and like a jerk character. And then Finn goes to a party where a lot of people go, and then it kind of starts to devolve from there, where he starts like seeing things, experiencing things, and people are seeing and doing weird things, and he sees his sister maybe get like felt up by an old lady. It's weird, and yeah, it's hard to describe this movie. The story's not terribly original, but it's not bad. It's all right. Better than all right. There is a threesome scene in it. There is no nudity, so bear that in mind if you're watching this with your children. I don't know who watches horror movies with their children. I fully intend to, but I don't know who else does. Anywho, 3 out of 5 for story. Acting. The movie's dubbed over from German. So I watched it in English, but it's filmed in German. Therefore, it is pretty much impossible for me to judge the acting because the delivery and all that. But I mean, the characters looked like they meant it. So 3 out of 5 for acting. Music is nothing special, but it does the job. So as per usual, 2.5 out of 5 for music. Atmosphere is good. It kept me mostly engaged. Though the plot meanders a bit. It's not a terribly original plot, and it tends to kind of just take its sweet time getting there. So 3 out of 5 for atmosphere. Look, better special effects than I expected. There's some pretty cool gross stuff, but there's a really obvious smoke CGI. And it's like, I think it actually shows in the trailer if you're paying enough attention to it. So 3 out of 5 for look. Creep. It's not really creepy, but it is engaging. So I'll give it a 2 out of 5 for creep, with a final score of 2.7 out of 5 skulls for The Privilege on Netflix.